Welcome to The Explainer. We spend our entire lives inside our own minds, but how often do we really stop to investigate what it actually is? Well, today we're digging into a really profound text from Tibetan Buddhism called the Sharp Vajra of Conscious Awareness Tantra, and it guides us on a pretty radical journey to do exactly that, to understand the true nature of our mind and maybe reality itself.
So let's just start right there, with this central question this text really challenges us with. What if that voice in your head, the one you call you, what if it isn't what you think it is at all? Now, this isn't just some philosophical game. It's the real starting point for a huge shift in how we experience everything.
So, okay, where do we even begin an investigation like this? Well, the text brings us right back to our own immediate experience. It basically asks us to look around, to look inside, and to figure out what is the one thing that seems to be creating and directing this whole show we call life.
And the text gives this power a pretty amazing name, the all-creating sovereign. Just think about that for a second. The claim here isn't just that your mind sees the world, it's that your mind actually creates your entire experience of it, your body, your words, your whole world. It's the one in charge.
So the first step is really practical, and it's going to sound super familiar if you've ever tried any kind of mindfulness. The instruction is pretty simple. Just investigate this mind. Where do your thoughts come from? Where are they right now? And where do they go when they disappear?
But just as we start to get comfortable with this whole observing the mind thing, the text throws a major curveball. It warns us that this first step, as important as it is not the final destination. In fact, it can actually be a trap.
Yeah, and this isn't just some small footnote. The text calls getting stuck at this surface level a dangerous juncture on the spiritual path.
I mean, wow, that is an incredibly blunt statement. The text is literally telling us that if all you do is watch your ordinary mind, the one that's always planning, worrying, and grasping onto things, you're just on a spiritual treadmill. You're not getting any closer to freedom, and all that effort, it warns, will have been for nothing. And this is the perfect analogy for it. You can't eat a drawing of food, right? And you can't spend a picture of money. In the exact same way, the text is warning us that if we don't go deeper, these powerful teachings are just ideas on a page. They can't give us any real spiritual nourishment.
So this is the crucial question, isn't it? If focusing on our everyday, messy, impure mind is actually a dead end, then what's the alternative? This is the question that pushes us beyond what we normally think of as mindfulness and into something much, much deeper.
And the answer means we have to turn that investigative lens away from our thoughts and aim it at a brand new target, the very idea of the I that's having all those thoughts in the first place.
So we apply the exact same rigorous method. We're asked to really search for this self that we're so sure is there. Where did it come from? Can you actually point to it somewhere in your body or your mind? And where does it go when a thought or a feeling just passes?
And when you do this search really honestly and rigorously, you arrive at a pretty startling conclusion. A solid, independent, continuous I just can't be found. What you're left with is what the text calls objectless emptiness. It's like the captain of the ship isn't even at the helm.
But here's the key. This emptiness isn't a void. It's not nothingness. Taking apart the idea of the self doesn't lead to a dead end. Instead, it reveals this more fundamental, vibrant layer of reality that was actually there the whole time.
The text calls this fundamental nature the Sugata Garbha. And this is a huge concept. It's an inherent, already enlightened essence that is the true nature of all of us. It's not something we have to build or create, it's something we simply discover.
This slide really shows you just how radical this shift is. That ordinary mind we started with, it's always striving, always full of effort. But this pristine awareness is spontaneously actualized. It's already here, complete. The old mind is the object you practice on. This awareness is the path itself. It's a complete 180 on our entire spiritual journey.
On realizing this pristine awareness, well, that's the gateway to the ultimate view in this tradition. It's something the text calls the Great Perfection, or Dzogchen.
And this slide captures that final vision just perfectly. In the Great Perfection, everything is seen as already complete. The cycle of suffering, which is called samsara, and the state of liberation, or nirvana, they're not two separate places you travel between. They're already interwoven right here in this fundamental nature. Nothing needs to be fixed, or rejected, or achieved.
From this incredibly vast perspective, all the other spiritual paths aren't seen as wrong, but as just partial views of this total reality. The text kind of suggests it's like someone taking a single drop of water from the ocean and believing they have the whole thing.
The text leaves us with this beautiful, really poetic summary of the entire journey. Every practice, every path, every single effort, it all ultimately comes from this fundamental, enlightened ground. And in the end, it all dissolves right back into it.
So, we'll just leave you with this. This isn't just some ancient philosophy. It's a direct invitation. If your deepest nature is already perfect and complete exactly as it is, how might that change the relationship you have with your own mind right here in this very moment?